Feel like summertime, hot enough outside, I could spit a summer rhyme. On a J beat, heat like a son of mine. So what's up, family man, I'ma get it. Okay.
Bring it back.
Feel like summertime, hot enough outside, I could spit a summer rhyme. On a J beat, heat feel like a son of mine. So what's a family matter? We get a drummer time, I'm writing through my lyrics. It's really freestyle when it's coming from the spirit. I might shoot this in Shelby, you probably hear it. I'm by the river, shoot it closer, you can feel you near it. Yeah, I write on green paper. I sing some mean haters and unclean gators. But never stop, never stop, never stop, never stop, never give up. Life is yours for the living, so it's time to live up. Filter that BS like a liver. That what you manifest or deliver quicker.
So as long as I look in this general direction, I should be okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to have to make this quick because I don't have much time on a lot of different levels. So time traveler, you know, one of the things you got to be cognizant of is time. You got to have a lot of patience. So we'll talk about time travel later. So we got a lot of subjects to get into. And so in your reality, I'm the guy that's known as the crazy guy. And I'm going to tell you how crazy this is because you guys call me crazy, and I'm just going to describe your world to you, okay? I'm not even going to say anything about what's going on right now and why everybody's on lockdown, and why I will say this is a question you should ask. Why all of a sudden the absolute concern for health to where they will shut down everything? When has this happened before, right? So just something to be aware of. Now, if George Carlin was here, he'd be going to town on this. And I just don't delve into that too much, but I'm trying to play with that with this comedy. You know, we'll see if it's funny. I mean, if you laugh, sir, you're right there with the green shirt on. If you laugh, then hey, that means I got through, okay? Because for me, you know, I just not getting into too much analytical stuff. Comedy is more like an agreement. Like if I say something that's funny and you agree to it, you'll laugh. You know, it's like it kind of bypasses. I'll give you one example, okay? So I'm in this meeting in the corporate world. I'm an engineer in real life. This pretty butterfly just flew by. I'm an engineer in real life. So at this meeting, they're talking about, you know, what's going on in the facility and all of this stuff. And they're talking about this company that's outside laying a whole lot of pipe, right? And I heard it. I thought it was funny. But, you know, it's not politically correct, and we'll talk about that later, to laugh at someone laying pipe. But it was hot outside, and I just envisioned someone out there laying pipe in the heat and just like, goodness, he's been out here laying pipe all day, you know. And that's what he said. He said he going to be out there laying pipe all day. Like, goodness, it's hot out there. I'll be sure that man stay hydrated. My goodness. But so that's the thought I got in my head. So the safety guy, you know, who's a character in itself, he rides around the facility, and I'm not making this stuff up. He rides around the facility on a tricycle, like Debo, pretty much, and he'll even sound a little horn and everything. But anyway, he's in the back, so he starts chuckling when he, you know, gets the laying pipe description. So then I start laughing, but it was funny, and I know it wasn't politically correct to laugh and all of that stuff, and that's one thing that we're not even going to get into here either, because the two things you can't talk about at work, which is a place you spend a lot of time, and that's religion and politics. And those are the two things that kind of rule what's going on here. And I will say something about religion, and then I'll leave them alone. It's interesting to me, and I'll try to move around on this. It's interesting to me that during this time of a pandemic, quote unquote, the religious organizations have shown no organization, no strength, no outward outreach, no helping hand. I really have not. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I mean, you may have seen something on a small scale, but and also for the state to say a religion is, or a church or assembly of that is not essential, but a liquor store is okay and all these other things. Get into the debate on that if you want to. Excuse me, but the point is, the church is impotent now. It has been shown to be impotent. They are And when you look at some of these loans they're taking, again, not getting into politics, but it's just crazy, right? And so when you talk about this stuff to people, I get a couple of reactions. I just get the straight look through, like really, like, I really want you to shut up because I don't really talk about this. I don't know what you're talking about, and you're probably crazy, right? Or you get the and they're just waiting to end the conversation, or they want to talk about what they want to talk about, and that's fine. It's interesting because people will say that I'm crazy, but then they'll believe that God had a son from a virgin as a sacrifice for us because of a sin that somebody way in the back made because a snake convinced a lady to eat an apple. What? Yeah, and a guy made a boat and put two of everything on there. And what? Right? And these are smart people, right? And I understand some of the things that I talk about and believe are crazy. So, but there's a certain level, a certain balance. You need to be an open-minded skeptic. It's just so interesting, just on this planet, how people don't even understand who they are on a fundamental level. Well, that's happening. We're in the middle of that shift now. That's part of the reason why I'm here and all suited up. I'm one of those guys that come down here to help raise the consciousness of the planet. You know, starseed, light worker, or whatever you want to call it. You know, it's cool. It's funny being that. It's funny being that as a black one. I got some comment on one of my videos, like, who they, you know, like a black light worker or a black angel. Yeah, they make black angels too. You know, I'm not even going to go into that. I put plenty of videos out online, and now people are starting to get to the point where they're going back and looking at that stuff, and then I'm talking about the same thing. So I don't really try to repeat past things now because we're just trying to have a little fun now, and we're shedding a little joy and everything. So an angel is just a messenger, and what is the message? The message is we all have divinity within. We're all made in God's image. I even pointed out some things in the Bible, how there's actually two creation stories. There's one creation story where God, using the word Elohim, creates everything, said it's good, be fruitful, multiply, rest, is out of there. And then the Lord God comes in and does all of this stuff. And all of this story is about the Lord God, right? So that's in the book. And we can talk about that, and we will. You know, there's a lot of things that are going to be revealed now. We're growing up. We're becoming more mature. We're changing phases. We're going into a new phase of consciousness and a new phase of looking at ourselves and our relationship to the planet and all of that stuff. I mean, just look at the way that we treat the earth now as if we got a backup. Look at the way we treat each other as if we got a backup. And it's not about a black life or a white life or anything like that. It's all life matters. Life doesn't have a color. And I do understand that Black Lives Matter, and in the immediate response, I wouldn't say immediate by some people, but there's a small group of people that will just say, hey, well, you know, just in retaliation, well, all lives matter. I mean, we're not saying, or they're not saying, I won't include myself in Black Lives Matter, but I am a black person, just by skin tone, as far as on the color scale, as far as what you would rate that. But we're all humans, different colors of the same race. There's only one race, humanity. But yeah, being a light worker and coming up through that programming of the religious belief systems and the white Jesus and all of that stuff, to actually saying, why can't I be Jesus, and claiming the highest thing that I can for myself, and getting railroaded pretty much all the way through that whole process. But they're not saying anything that I'm saying that isn't true. And it really has nothing to do with claiming to be anything special. It is just saying that there's not a reason to put anyone above you when you have that same ability as these people did, right? So it's funny because you can talk about this until you're blue in the face, but people have their own experience. But the thing is, a lot of people don't realize the limiting aspects of these beliefs. Like, God is jealous. Like, why would God be jealous? Like, would you make something and be jealous of it, right? Like, draw a painting and be jealous of it, right? You're an infinite creator. Like, you can make an infinite amount of things. Why would you be jealous of anything? So that's just one example, right? Hell, for instance, okay? Like, okay, a God of love. They want to say God is a God of love, but I can show you plenty of things in the Bible where God definitely shows his behind, okay? He shows a lot of quote-unquote love for his own people. Moses begged him a couple times to not just slaughter everybody. And just look at how God treated other people that were conquered, whatever. Anyway, this is that entity, right? The quote-unquote Lord. So when they capitalize that, that's the one that likes the sacrifices and the smell of that and all that stuff. Anyway, that is the being that supposedly created hell and all of this stuff. Again, this is a separate entity from the first, and I don't mean to get off in this tangent, but I'm just kind of explaining that. And when you look at that difference, then you can kind of subtract a lot of that rhetoric with that deity. A lot of that hell stuff. Like, why would you, being a God of love, create a place to burn someone, torture them forever for something that they did, knowing or not knowing, in a lifetime, because of something that happened in the past to a being that you just created that was tricked by another being who was around for the same amount of time that God was? That doesn't kind of sound fair, right? I mean, good grace, good God. I was like, damn, like, yeah, it's a strict, ain't it? Hey, y'all ain't playing, but you better tighten up, you know. And I've heard the preachers. I remember one time I was at a church and I went just out of respect. And you know, some people in there are just following those things because they think that's the way, but they haven't looked in it any other way, and haven't even looked within themselves. That's the missing piece, right? That's the biggest unexplored area. But anyway, so I'm respectful, you know, and many people don't know how much I've studied and looked into these belief systems and stuff, but I just go and I listen, and they don't know my story, my backstory, blah, blah, blah. So I'm listening, and he's preaching, and the thing that gets me is you're not given an alternative. It's like, this is the truth, this is the way, there's no other, this is what's going on, and it's not taught as a belief system, as a belief. It can't be taught as a fact because there's evidence for and against, and when you really look at it, the evidence against it outweighs the evidence for it. So that's why it's a belief. That's why you have to believe. You got to have faith. But that only gets you so far. You know, at some point you got to take action. You got to take action, and that's where we are now. We're about to take action. I'm taking action. I'm just out here doing what I do, out here amongst nature. And I was thinking about the birds. You hear the birds back there chirping. And they start, you know, 4 o'clock in the morning roughly. But can you imagine if they actually were self-conscious about how they sounded? Like, they don't care whether I like how they sound or if their chirping is too loud or not loud enough. I can't convince them to stop. I can't convince them to start. They're going to sing because that's what they want to do. You know, that's within us as well. And we limit ourselves on a lot of different levels because of perceptions of other people. Some real, some not real. But it's still, as we see in examples of nature, it shouldn't limit us, right? If I want to sing, whether I could sing or not, if I enjoy singing, I'll sing. And I do that, and I've done songs where I've sung, and yeah, it's not the best sounding one, but it is what it is. Yeah. So we're going to lose one shot here, but we're going to keep one, and we're going to kind of switch things around because that sound is going to be annoying. So just give us 1 second. We're going to take a brief intermission. And during this intermission, we're going to leave you with a little bit of music intermission backstory stuff to just make you say woo. I know I'm a character, right? I know I'm a character. We're all characters, right? So we're all full of character. So you can't get out of life not playing a character, right? Even if you're a character that says, I'm not playing a character, you're still playing a character, right? So it's pretty funny that you can't get out of it, right? At least you're here, right? Anyway, So yeah, I'm the guy that's playing like I'm Jesus. Like first of all, who's crazy enough to want to be Jesus? Okay, like I give you an example. Like people say, oh, we need another Malcolm or Martin. Those are examples that we've seen in our lifetime and all that stuff, right? But the thing is, these people that are saying this in positions of influence and have money and stuff like that, say they have read these things and know the importance of that type of person. Why don't they do that? They know what to do, follow the things, and learn from some of their mistakes. That's how we all learn. But they don't. They want someone else to do that. I think there's different reasons for that, and one of them is they don't want to die, right? Because it's crazy of a reality we live in where you can be killed for trying to do good and help others. But it doesn't stop people from popping up, and they just keep popping up like I'm one of those people. And we're here working inside of nature, and we're showing you the beauty of it and having a little fun doing it. So yeah, I'm a character. So as far as Jesus, I've been slowly implanting that into the consciousness. And even at work a couple times I went in and it's Jesus Jackson, and the reactions that you see on video are some of the real live reactions that they had, and it was funny and they enjoyed it, you know. And they don't know me as Vikter Bang, they just know me as Michael or Mike or MJ or Michael J, depending on who's saying it. But to them, Vikter Bang, and we'll just let this truck pass. But to them, Vikter Bang is, you know, some of them are slowly learning, but they don't talk about that stuff at work. There's a few that, you know, really have those conversations, and the majority, they just, you know, just let it be. But they know more than they let on. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, we got some characters at work, and I'm not even going to go there, but I'll talk about the characters in my family, right? Now, not many people have an Elvis impersonator in their family, so we're just going to start there. A black one, right? And that's a whole different story in itself, and we haven't even peeled that onion. But anyway, yeah, black Elvis impersonator. And he used to have the drip down curl and wear the suits and all that stuff. So we used to film and do skits and all that stuff, and we have some of the older ones that we did. So we were always filming stuff like in living color and skits like Dave Chappelle and stuff like that before they were doing it. We just weren't famous, you know, but our family did that. That's how we entertained ourselves. So that's how I learned how to work a camera, but I've been using that to document everything I've been documenting in a way that I can to hopefully make it entertaining, but also get some good visuals out in a way that's interesting, that I can sustain myself, because that's what it boils down to, because I'm the only one here. It's just me and nature and you, and I appreciate you hanging out so far. But yeah, where we at? We're in Shelby, Meeman Shelby Park, and yeah, I like coming out here. It's nice, it's peaceful, and this mic setup seems to be working pretty good. We'll let this van pass, but yeah, it seems like it's working all right. And yeah, you know, people get kind of nosy when you see a guy in all black with a microphone out here, but it is what it is. Alrighty, so I'm going to keep this thing moving. Alrighty, so characters. So yeah, Black Elvis, right? Now, yeah, so I have the light-skinned side, which is the Johnson side, and the black side, the dark-skinned side, which is the Burnett side. And they're two different sides of the same coin, both crazy, and both loving too as well. And my character is a mixture of all of them. So I do have a comedy side that a lot of people don't get to see because they just see me as a straight shooter, which I am, and I'm just quiet. I really don't do too much small talk. You know, I'm focused on this kind of stuff. I feel is very important, and I just try to find different ways to incorporate that into what I enjoy, and also incorporate it into a way to allow me to do it full time, so that I am more focused on this. So this is also showing you some level of production that I have now, and maybe you see the potential and you may want to participate in it on one level or another, whether you're watching it on one side or helping produce it on the back side. I got to show you that, right? So, and this is all about getting the idea to stick. It's like Inception. Like, imagine just implanting this idea, and the idea is simple. Like, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So the 100-degree challenge is a stake in the ground saying, damn it, prove it wrong. You know, prove it wrong. Then there it is right there. Go on and get it. Go on and get it. Y'all fact checkers, y'all get in there. And y'all look at it. And y'all fact check everything in there. You know, get down in there. Get down in there. Get down in there. Get in there and get it. Right? Now, it's funny that we even got to talk about this, but I guess it happens on all levels, because eventually this becomes common knowledge and common sense, and it's funny, it's laughable. We'll be laughing at it now, like, God, we didn't even know that fundamental thing about ourselves, right? And we saw us as different, and us as separate from nature, and us as separate from this and that. When even our science tells us that we're all connected and we're all energetic beings experiencing this matrix, right? Yeah, so, and it's crazy, like, the real life is crazier than science fiction. Like, the whole character Finding Carlos, like, that's real life. So I'm telling that in a story sense because you wouldn't even believe it's actually happening real life-wise, right? So, I mean, I'm out here, like, right in your reality, like, and you look at the history of what's been going on, it's crazy. But yeah, I'm the crazy one because, yeah, you push the limits of thought and of thinking. And now I'm just going to have fun with it. The legwork has been put out there. The information has been seen by, I mean, I'm not exaggerating, but I would say probably millions of people, and they can't say it's not true. Now, of course, I wouldn't be out here talking about it if it was indeed not true. But again, there's no public argument for it. It just hasn't been put into the main story yet or the main news yet, because that's something like this very good news that who wants to keep a cap on that, right? To let us know that we're spiritual, immortal, infinite beings, and there's no such thing as hell, and that whole thing was made to keep us controlled and all of this stuff. Like, it's coming out. You know, the light eventually is coming out, and it's all good. Like, people are going to be scared of change, and that happens, you know, but change is inevitable. You know, each breath is change, and life is about change from one moment to the next. Without change, there's no experience. So once you understand and you flow with change and you're more directed, you realize that you can move and become the rudder and have a little less energy involved in flowing with this change, and you can direct it and just stay away from the banks. So, but we're out here amongst nature, and yeah, like I said before, it's hot. So I'm trying to make it funny, and yeah, being me is funny because my parents, I say, well, on my dad's side, we don't really talk that much. My mom's side, she knows the whole story. She, you know, she doesn't even really think I can be like a Martin Luther King. You know, it's like I couldn't even be on that level. Like, forget being Jesus, like I couldn't even be MLK in her mind. And you know, but again, that's her opinion, and I understand that. There's a saying that you can't be a prophet in the town that you're from, because maybe they still see you as Mikey, right? So that's probably reason I did a song called Mikey, which will be coming out. But it's an interesting story, because yeah, it's like the movie The Joker that just came out. He said that he felt like he was invisible his whole life, and now he's just now being seen. And I feel that way now, like I'm just now being seen. I'm just now being noticed. But I've laid out things in the past when I wasn't seen, so that when people do pay attention, it's there for whenever they're ready on the different layers that I went on. And I've learned, and I've made mistakes, and I've bumped my head, and I'm trying to save you time in your journey, because there's a lot of disinformation out there, and you do have to have discernment, and you should question me as well and not believe anything anyone says. That's definitely part of the thing, right? Question the information that you got the same way that you're questioning me. But also be open-minded to you not knowing everything, because there's a lot more that you don't know than you do know, right? Just look at the information that's out there. And I'm wrapping this up, and you know, we're out here testing a little footage, and we're shooting this sci-fi movie, which is actually real life, because we're here time traveling. And when I say time travel, okay, it's not like I have a ship, right? Like I'm floating around in a ship. This is conscious time travel. This is similar to what was shown to you in movies. And I'll tell you a little bit about the Lincoln movies and imagination in a little bit. Because you have to think about oneness, everything being one. If everything is one, then it is all connected. So imagination is part of that. So you can see things through imagination, through some of these ideas, which are shown to us in movies, and movies are the new visual parable. That's why I use a visual aspect to it, because it lasts. It incorporates more attention, getting aspect of it. You can see the vibrations of the trees and stuff in the background. So that is something that brings with it an energy that I can't even quantify. So that's part of it. But yeah, video is captivating. It's just we use a lot of our eyes, or we're visual people, so again, video is more captivating. So I've been doing that for a while. So we're using video to teach and to get this message across. And it's a simple message, like I said before. And we're trying to make it entertaining. And I lost my train of thought. Yeah, that happened to y'all. You lost train of thought. You know, it'll come back to you, but you really don't want to, if you know. Because you're thinking about this, you're thinking about that, like how much time is left on that thing, and you know, and this thing doesn't track good all the time. So there's certain things and people coming, and you know, I just don't want to be stopped in the middle of my production. You know, I want to be able to finish what a cat now started. You know, just me out here anyway. But we do have people passing, and it's all good. We ain't out here causing no trouble now. Y'all out there causing no trouble now. You know. Some people be just nosy. Like I see these characters. There's a whole lot of things I want to tell you, and it's gonna have to be unfolded properly, because otherwise it's just gonna look like I'm just up here rambling, and it's not gonna make sense, because I'm talking about things that characters say that you don't know about, so you don't even know why that particular phrase is funny, right? So it's like if I just say, "What you talking about, Willis?" Well, it's not exactly. I mean, if you hear the character and he says that when now that's the joke. But just the words, what you talk about, Willis itself, maybe not. It's not the funniest thing. You know, it may be funnier than Tony tickled the two-tied line. I don't know. Just making stuff up. But anyway, the whole idea is that there's a context involved, and there's some characters that are family members that I know you got in your family too, and that's one of the things I've seen in the traveling that I've done to different places, that these families are similar. Whether white, black, there's crazy in all of them. I think certain people hide it better than others, but it's craziness in all of it, and I've seen it across the board, across stratus of financial means, all that stuff, from rich people to poor people, from smart people to people that may be smart and aren't smart or just don't apply themselves, you know, all across the board. But I know I'm one of those characters too, because in their minds I'm a guy that does this crazy stuff. But the thing is, I'm also the guy that is just kind of just shoot to the side, like not really trying to be understood. And I think it's worth worth understanding for a lot of different reasons. And I'm only talking on the iceberg level. There's things below the surface that I'm looking forward to rising up. And I'm also seeing feedback from the things that I'm doing, that it is getting through on a level. It is going and being received. And I'm getting feedback from the matrix coming back like, hey, and this is global. So it's pretty cool. Now, this is not about one person. This is about us being an example of the world we want to create. We got to lead by example. So this is us showing the conscious community, right? Us showing what the unity looks like, the example for the world of what that organization looks like, what that sustainability looks like, what that role model of a human being 2.0 looks like, right? You know, it looked like something's back there. Yeah. But that's what we got to do. That's the next phase. That's the next step. And we can have fun doing it. We're going to have fun doing it. And part of these gyrations and things that you're seeing now are the result of things that want to limit that aspect of it. But you can't limit that. I mean, it's like you're trying to stop the light. the light is going to radiate from it. And this is an eternal light, so you can't snuff it out from the outside. And it's been snuffed out from the outside, but this is an eternal awakening, an eternal ascension, so they can't snuff it out from the inside, right? It starts with your heart and loving yourself. You know, start there. Love yourself. You are made in the image of God, right? If you believe in the Bible stuff. Now, if you don't, now there's some atheists that only believe in God itself. And now they kind of couple God with religion and all that stuff. And I understand that. I don't like using the word God as well because I understand it comes with that baggage. But people understand that word, and when you use words like source and universe and infinite intelligence and all of this stuff and consciousness, they really don't grasp that. So I understand that. But the thing with the atheists is they limit looking for all stuff because of those factions out there on both sides. There are factions on the quote-unquote spiritual side that are also rabbit holes. But both are limiting because of people, egos. You know, they think they're someone special instead of allowing the information to flow through them, be a conduit, so that that light can flow to someone else, and then that light can flow to someone else, and we all shine. We're all pixels on the screen of life, and once one pixel changes, it shows another pixel they can change, and we create the screen. You know, we're the 99%. We make 99% of the pixels are us. So how can we ask 1% of the pixels to control the screen? Like, we're it, and we're the color. So when we wake up, when we decide we're not going to play the games given to us by them, voila, different screen for us, right? So that's the name of the game, and we're trying to make this thing funny. This thing's going to go bad, so that's good. We got a little footage. We'll see how it all comes together. So I appreciate y'all tuning in, and we're going to leave y'all with some beautiful nature. All right, I think we've recorded that.